Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Hi. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Thursday, January 29th, 2026. It's been a blessing to be part of this community for almost every day, for 6 years straight, every weekday morning, with friends like Sandy and John. Penny, thank you, Penny. It's broadcast 1480. Jonathan and Susie, Tara and Bensi, Lydia, Ram, good to see you. Linda, nice to see you too, sending love to you in Florida. Barry and Rosa, sending love to you in Malta. Carl, hi, my wife. Everybody give Neshama some love. So nice to see you here, love. I'm waving through our wall to you. Patricia and Jack, Joyce, good to see you. Marcia and Marilyn, hi, Arlene. Nice to see you. Okay. Arlene, Maya is in your house. Two Arlenes in the same moment signed on, and what a gift to see Maya with one of you. Eileen sending love to Vegas. Cecile and George, Dale, and Natalie. Good morning, friends. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you. It was good to see you before. All right, everybody. Let's take a breath. Deborah, good to see you. Good luck in your drive back to Colorado tomorrow. Dave and Minna, Linda, hope that you are well. Okay. Hi, Jonathan. Nathalia and Scott, good to see you. Let's take a breath, sing a blessing, learn some Torah. La 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 לעסוק בדברי תורה, לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, תורה, תדיה לי לי לי, תדיה לי לי. All right, everybody, it's good to see you. Hope that you and yours are safe and well. And thank you for sending love all the way around. Everybody on Instagram, everybody on Facebook. It is beautiful to see all of us here together on this broadcast 1480. The Torah this week gives us so many different images. And what's fascinating to note is that tradition is rarely satisfied with only the imaginative powers that we've inherited. We often add value. And when we do, through the process of Midrash, we are often revealing aspects of our own lives. When you make a comment about the Torah, what you should know, and this is beautiful, is that you're revealing yourself in relationship with sacred text. That is literally revelation. Now, the Torah itself, some believe given word by God at Har Sinai, at Mount Sinai, and some believe that it's the process of us telling our story and reaching for the divine. All of that is sacred. It is important for us to understand that when we reach for the divine, especially when we do so in community, that is when we enter into the conversation in earnest. When we know that it's beyond the self and that there is a sacred anchor beyond any of us, and perhaps even beyond all of us, that is when we are in communion with God, with infinity, with eternity, with our ancestors, and through that connectivity with our descendants. An image like that is a gift that we receive by ancestors who read the Torah this week and gave us their imaginations and their worries. So let's do all of this together. Let's honor them, cherish them. Let's love the Torah they loved and make sure that we add our own life force, our own imagination to this entire enterprise we call Torah. The sea splits this week. It is an extraordinary moment. But if you remember, just before it happens, and our ancestors don't know what is next, so you can't enter the story as if you already know the outcome. That's not how stories work. Our ancestors are terrified because here we are at the lip of the sea, and Pharaoh's army is bearing down on us, pursuing us even after all of the plagues. The very ones who oppressed us and our ancestors have their horses and chariots and weapons. It's more important to them to come after us than it is to build their own world. Unfortunately, that is an ancient echo with modern reverberance. But for us, when did the sea split? The people, we, panicked, turned to Moses, and Moses says, "Have no worry, stay where you are, God will save us, and you will never see them," meaning the Egyptians, again. And it's all true, but it's not clear how, not even to Moses, because after he reassures all of us, all of our ancestors, he then turns to God and says, "Why did you do this?" And God says, "Why are you talking to me?" Think about this moment. Think about that. Why are you talking to me? God says to Moshe in this intense moment, the height of drama. It's why it makes for such good cinema. And God says to Moshe, "Raise your hand, hold the staff above the water, and it will part." And little by little it does. But I want to tell you that when the rabbis hear that, just as we hear that, it's a little bit disjunctive. How is it possible for the panicked people to go to their leader, who himself hides his own panic, but not from God, and then God reveals through a process liberation? It doesn't feel commensurate with the urgency of the moment, which is why the rabbis have this image, an image that you might know, of a man named Nachshon ben Aminadav. Nachshon ben Aminadav is a prince from the tribe of Benjamin. And he goes in to the sea when everyone else is panicked. He puts his foot in first. He puts his toe in first. We often say, be a Nachshon, be the one who steps forward first. There's even a program for young Jewish graduate students that my daughter has been a part of called the Nachshon Project, all about leadership. Well, there's an ancient midrash. The Talmud tells the story of how Nachshon got to that place. I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but this, if you're looking, is in the Talmud, Masechet Sotah, the book of Sotah, page 36b to 37a. I'll riff on it instead of reading you many paragraphs. Rabbi Meir said in a Braita, in an ancient text even by the Talmud standards, that when the Jewish people stood at the Red Sea, they argued with each other. One group said, "I'm going to go first," and the other said, "I'm going to go first." Benjamin, the tribe of Benjamin, from which Nachshon derives, jumped in first. And the princes of the tribe of Judah threw things at them. None of this makes sense. We're all running for our lives. Why are we fighting? Benjamin went in first, the tribe, because of Nachshon. But as you might expect, especially if you've learned some Talmud, the first opinion is then challenged. The second opinion is not Rabbi Meir, it's Rabbi Yehuda. We often see them disagreeing, and that is part of our tradition. Rabbi Yehuda says, That's not how it happened. If you remember, we talked about this yesterday, where Serach bat Asher, another legendary character for the rabbis, said, that's not how it happened. We argue. We argue about what happened and how it happened. Rabbi Yehuda said, that's not how it happened. This tribe said, I'm not going first. I'm not going first. And we might understand that because here they are before a sea that has not split and they don't know the story like we know the story. But while they were arguing about not going first, Benjamin jumped in first. And then Judah descended, and Nachshon was honored for being the first. There's a lot for us to say about this dynamic. First of all, how does Rabbi Meir or Rabbi Yehuda know what happened? They're living thousands of years afterwards. And for them to argue about this is fun, actually, for us, but not for them. They're arguing with urgency about the moment that would have been life or death for our people. There would be no Rabbi Meir. There would be no Rabbi Yehuda. There would be no rabbis had this story not moved forward. And so arguing about community in a moment of desperate fear is not actually fun at all. It's them reflecting on what community does in moments of severe panic. I will tell you that in this moment, and I know we're not all in the United States, I'm looking at Fabrice in Paris, and Rosa is in Malta, Catherine might be here from Australia. We've got friends from all over. But in the United States right now, this is one such moment, especially our sisters and brothers on the streets of Minneapolis, wondering what's the right response? How do I step forward into the unknown, especially when the water threatens to drown, when there is great risk to life, and all I need to say is the name Renee Good or the name Alex Preddy. And for us to understand that this story has incredible implications for us. Nachshon is willing to do what either everybody else wants to be first to do, we could call that virtue signaling, I want to be in front of the camera, being righteous in front of everyone, or terrifying, I don't know. I watched the clergy in Minneapolis pray on their knees in negative 40-degree weather in front of everything happening. Just be on their knees and pray. Nachshon didn't have the power to split the sea, but he did have the power to take a step forward. Last night, in Westchester County, an interfaith group of clergy organized more than 1,000 people coming together in prayer and song. It was an extraordinary thing. Many of the clergy that stepped forward and offered their faith traditions, reminder of who we are, and the lofty aspirations that the United States was founded to represent. It wasn't political, it wasn't partisan, it was heart, soul, and body. I watched our clergy, Jewish and Christian, and please God, there were also Muslims and Buddhist and Hindu citizens and residents of Westchester present last night. We were all just holding each other, remembering that we leave no one behind because of the amazing things that we can ascribe to the model of Nachshon ben Aminadav. When people panicked, he knew, he was probably panicked too, he knew that the only thing to do is to take a step forward into the unknown. Liberation doesn't happen without risk. Freedom costs something. And as my beloved friend, Pastor Lee Trollinger sang and thundered last night, this little light of mine, we have to let it shine. In the face of the great unknown, in the face of waters that threaten to drown, and amidst a community that is panicked and afraid, we have to say this is not the time for panic or fear. That is not how we live. We will reach out to neighbors and say, I love you, I see you. Last night in the room, there were more than 1,000 people, but there were no Latino representatives because they were afraid to show up. What an important acknowledgement, friends, that we thought we were taking a risk by showing up, but they know the understanding of the word risk. We, friends, must learn from the model of Nachshon and the willingness of Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda to talk about, honestly, what community does in moments of panic. Often we fight. Me first. Well, that's ego. Not me. That's fear. Something in between. Action. Action born of love. Love for community, a recognition that we are better than this, and that love will conquer. In the model of Dr. King and Rabbi Heschel, non-violent love demonstrated in public, that's the way forward. In the model of the Freedom Riders and those who sat at counters they were forbidden from, when water fountains were segregated and schools and churches and synagogues agreed for a time. That's not the way we move forward. We don't move forward fighting or panicked, keeping each other from moving forward or demanding that only me, only I, we, friends, we have to learn from Nachshon. Because after all, you might know this, my wife reminded me of this a little bit earlier this morning. Nachshon comes from the tribe of Benjamin, and Benjamin is where the temple was built. The tribe of Benjamin, a little sliver of land. And that little sliver of land, where holiness centered for our people and now for eternity, that survived the destruction. That little sliver. This is how we move forward through time. In moments of panic, we step forward. We pray. We sing. And we love each other. Always, as Lydia is emphasizing, we. Always we. Nachshon was a pioneer, but it's not his story alone, which is why it worked. He's part of a tribe, and may we remember the tribe is bigger than any of the smaller groups we call family. It's all we. Let's send our hearts to the east, friends, and sing. Kolon balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion tzofia od lo avda tikvateinu התקווה בת שנות 2000 להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון וירושלים להיות עם חופשי בארצנו ארץ ציון Virushalayim. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.